Hey guys, this is Never Enough, and today we're going to be working on a 454 big black Chevy, and today we're going to be setting the rockers, and we're going to be setting them to how they need to be. So, this is my brother here from Nelson's Performance. Sure, you know, go do the subscribe thing. Yep. And anyways, let's dig in here. Alright. So this is a hydraulic lift. For cam, I think. Yeah, hydraulic cam. Took out all of all the lifters, took them out, polished them up, put grease on them, and put them back in. My dad, he put bigger push rods in them. They're a little bit stronger than the stock original ones. So Shiloh, I'll let you show us how this is done first, and then we'll get to work.
All right. So, here, I need you to hang on to this for a second. What we're going to do is we're going to rotate the motor over until this valve is closed and seated, or closed all the way. So we might as well go clockwise. And we're going to watch the cam.
Am I going the right way?
Compression. We need this valve to close. You're going back and clockwise, right? I need number one here. So we're just going to keep rotating the motor over until this valve is compressed as it's working its way down now. There you go. Keep going. Okay, it's coming back up, so go back a little bit.
Okay, so we're gonna continue going. Looks like I got it a little too tight on that one. It's just about good. Just tighten up just a little bit more. It's good. Now 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, that one's set. This one already looks good. And you can see it's down at the bottom. It's at the base of the cam. Now I can just and now we're going 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock. That one's good. That one's on base, looks like. Turn it just a little bit more. Now you went past it. Now it's on a lobe. It's on pass lobe. Right about there. Let's see. Now, I keep on tightening this until we get it. So can't turn it. I like turn it, tighten it up so you can't turn it, and then loosen it up a little bit. That's a lot more better. Okay. Right there. Now it's 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and if you put the camera down in here, you can see that this one too is also on base. That should be good, so now we'll just tighten. we'll tighten on this one. Yeah, really tight. Oh, it's sticky. Hold on for a second. My greasy rag thing kind of greasy. As up there it says, keep it greasy out there. Okay, that's nice. So, yep, that's what I saw. Yeah, turn this son of a gun. Now do our initial. 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock. That's where you definitely can't spin it. And then that's how you, alright, now that's how you set the rockers. Now we're going to check all of our threads. Make sure they're all close to being the same. So it looks like this one. It's good. It looks good. We got 4 on that one, 4 on that one. This one. Alright, now we're going to turn over the motor twice, 2 360s. Now we're going to put it at top dead center. And we'll check all of our threads again, make sure they're all good. So, turn it over 2 times. There's 1. There's 2. Alright, so another thing that would be very helpful for trying to find top dead center on these Chevys is, look, right here, these 2 should be almost down, and the exhaust should be just barely coming up. That's how you know you're at top dead center up here. Another way that you can tell is right here is a big notch. You ought to be lining this line that's right here. It's coming up. You want that sucker right there. So it looks just like this. That one's just barely coming up. That one's flush-ish. And then that's top dead. Alright, now what we're going to check for, we already checked the first one, is checking for any binding noises or anything. We did not hear anything of that. When we were setting them, we heard a little bit of binding, but then after we set them all, the binding went away, so that's nice. And then what we're going to check now is any of the push rods that immediately just got randomly loose on us, so then we know how to redo that one, and then we should be good. So, alright, so one trick, old man trick, my dad taught me. This right here is for a cow. So when like cows eat a nail or something, they put it down their throat and it gets the nail out of them. But now, what my dad does is he puts them right here, not these 2, because the motor's sitting like this in the car. So he wants it right back here, and it's really good for in case you break any push rods or any metal gets down into the motor. This thing will catch it, so it doesn't fall into your motor and ruin everything else on the bottom end. So that's that, and My dad's always wanted to put a tunnel ram, two quadro jumps, or two quadro jumps. You know, put them on here. So when you throttle it, you have your two primaries that are open, and when you really want to get on it, you open it up, and the two secondaries will pour in. So you get all the extra horsepower out of this 440. What's also not very nice is these heads are tiny little port heads, so that's not, you know, it's not very ideal, but it'll do. Otherwise, we're gonna put the things back on here so the dust gets in our motor, and then we'll put a cover over it. And thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe to Nelson's Performance and Never Enough. And we'll see you guys next time.
It looks like it is. So now we're going to do our spinny job. Not seating right. Okay. Now we're just gonna go back and check it, and I don't know why that one gets tight so easy. So if you see that we're a couple threads off, lift it. That rocker is so shaky. Yeah, it is. I don't understand. So, if this happens like it is now, and that it's, you know, your rocker is still shaky, and your threads are not aligned as much, but your push rod don't move, I would, just do the method that we do after we initially set it. So we just go from 6 to 12, 6 to 12 until we get our threads all lined up to the way that they're supposed to. Also, another thing is that this is a new used block, used heads, it's used motor, so there's going to be a lot of inconsistency throughout the valve train through here. So we're going to turn it over to Skylar, and we're going to have him repeat the same thing that I did.
I'm going to get myself a different towel. Alright, so I'm going to set these rockers now, so we're going to go. I'm going to turn the motor so we get the base load of the cam. Once we get the base load of the cam, then we can go until these things get tight. And it's a little bit more good. Alright, so now that's pretty darn good. Also, we also have grease on these, so, you know, it's going to spin a little bit easier when we're going to tighten these. So that's something to take into consideration, too. Okay. Now that's tight. Tighten it all Alright, now I'm gonna go 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and that's done. Alright, and also something that I want to check here is the threads that I have on here. So it looks like I got 4 threads on there and 4 threads on there, so I know that intake and intake on both sides are equal. So now we're going to rotate the motor over and go to Alright, so it looks like this one's already good. And things are already on base. Now we're just going to keep on going until these things get tight-ish. Okay, now we're just going to go 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Now it should be good. Now you want to do this one? It's already down. No? Alright, so turn. Okay, so yeah, looks like we both on each side got 4 threads showing on each side, so now we can rotate the motor. So we're on the base lobe cam for this one. So if you look real down in there, you'll see when the top of here is like pretty much flush, which is about there. See, it's on base down there. So now we can, rinse and repeat and continue setting these. And that looks to be about good. So now we're gonna do 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock again, and that should be good. Now we're gonna check again. Yep, 4 threads. And 4 threads, so now it should be good. Alright, now looks like it's already nice and flush on there. So now we can just tighten up this one so we can set it up. Dang, that got tight like right away. Shoo-wee, buddy. Maybe not.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. So now see that it's the base of the camshaft now. We have it off the lobe, and then we are able to rock the rocker a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have our fingers here, and I can really not even move it yet. So we're gonna loosen this nut up a little bit until we're freely able to move the push rod. My bad. You gotta go the other way. I'm so confused. Is it left or right?
Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Well, I was loosening it and then it got like, it was solid. And then I was tightening it and it was solid. So I don't understand. Okay, so see now that I am able to move the rocker freely. And now I'm going to go to the right now. I'm going to tighten it slowly until I can just barely move it back and forth. So we're going to do that for a while. And I'd go just a quarter of a turn each time. It's a very long process. I'm going to go back a little bit. Now I could just barely move it now, so that's going to be right where that's at. Okay, so now we're just going to do that for all the intake and exhaust. Go back. Just a little bit. Just keep going slowly. There. Now, go back to 6. Oops. There's 6. There we go. You want to just keep checking your rockers as you move along. Just double check them all. So we're finished here. So now we're going to move on to this one. Good, so there. And from 6 to 12. Should be tight. There we go. Alright. Then we move to the exhaust. Crank it out of it. I just want to see if they're coming back up. I can't see if you're going so slow. Oh, I think it's starting to come back up. Yep, it's starting to come back up. Okay, and now I can feel already that this one is a little bit more too close to what we're looking for, so it's not going to be as slow as the other ones were. There we go. There. That's one side of the head down.
There you go.
And another thing to add on top is that you can see the threads on the all the intake ports. See how they have this just about the same amount. So all the intake should be relatively similar. So should the exhaust, and we notice that 1, 3, and 7 are also the same. 5 is not. So we're gonna go and check it again, which looks like that the valve is almost open. So we're gonna go and get it closed, and we're gonna recheck this, and then we're gonna move to the other side. So now we can see that on the camshaft that it's open, and also here that we can see it's open, and that the valve is compressed. Now it is starting to seat.
Go.
Okay, and then we also, when you're checking these, you want to make sure that the push rod ends is seated into the lifters themselves, and we can also see that 5 here is a little not in its place. If you can come closer, you can see that it's not seated very well in here. And the rest of these are, so just to make sure it works that way. So we're going to keep rotating the motor over. So we just want to make sure that this is seated correctly and that it's in its place. And it looks like it is. So now we're going to do our spinny job. Not seated right. Okay. Now we're just gonna go back and check it. And I don't know why that one gets tight so easy. So we see that we're a couple threads off. That rocker is so shaky. Yeah, it is. understand. So, if this happens like it is now, and that it's, you know, your rocker's still shaky, and your threads are not aligned as much, but your push rod don't move, I would, just do the method that we do after we initially set it. So we just go from 6 to 12, 6 to 12 until we get our threads all lined up to the way that it's supposed to. Also, another thing is that this is a new used block, used heads, it's a used motor, so there's going to be a lot of inconsistency throughout the valve train through here. So we're going to turn it over to Skylar, and we're going to have him repeat the same thing that I've did.
I'm going to get myself a big towel. Alright, so I'm going to set these rockers now, so...
And then after you set the valve to initially how you feel, you're going to turn the nut one more, or half a turn, and that is your rocker set. Okay, and now we're going to do that for the rest of them, and I'll show you just the rest of this side, and then we'll discuss it with the other side too. So, this one's down too. This one's down too, stop. Alright, so you're just gonna okay. And see how I can spin this really freely now? So we're just gonna go through here, just tighten it up until, whoop, go back a little bit. And when you do the initial, there we go. You always start from 6 o'clock and you always go clockwise to 12. So it's just here and here, and that's done. Okay. So we're gonna move on to just gonna move to this one. So you need to rotate it.
Point it out. That's good.
And there we go. Now I can just barely move it. So now we're just gonna go from 6 o'clock to 12, and that's done. Okay. And as you see, so what we're doing is going based off the base lobe. So see how back here in the back of the motor that this lobe is up. We don't want to adjust them when the valves are open, because it's a bad thing. So we're just gonna go through here. And just tighten this down just so you can move it just by the touch. See how I can't move it? So we're going to go back a little bit. Quarter. And then we're going to find where it decides to stop, right there. And we go 6, 12, done. Okay. Over. Right. Okay, well, we just get done with this one. So we're going to move to this one now. As we're watching the lifter get flush with the bottom, just like here. There we go. She's starting to come down now. Come on. A little bit more. Right there. Okay. So we're just going to keep... repeat the process. Okay, just like that. From 6 to 12, that's over. And then if they get loose like that, they're gonna have to go through again. I got it. Come on. Keep going. Whoa. Okay. Go back. Just a little bit. Just keep going slowly. There. Now, go back to 6. Oops. There's 6. There we go. You want to just keep checking your rockers as you move along. Just double check them all. So we're finished here. So now we're going to move on to this one.